Cool. So Vale 2020, Land of the Free, episode 7, where y'all are looking for Michael Hart, your new fixer. That, for those of you who weren't aware, you had an old fixer named Elliot Weir. I deleted it, I guess, on Rule 20. There used to be his card there, but you guys realized that it wasn't much good calling him because the last time somebody called him, somebody else answered it, and they were pretty nefarious and probably killed him. So he's not around anymore, but his ostensibly good friend Michael Hart in the top left corner of the picture there is taking over for Elliot and now running this mission instead of him. The mission is to get Adriana to her father, Dr. Francis Young, to Night City. Currently, you're coming up on New Orleans, so you're a little ways away still. And as a player knowledge, we know that it will take a long time to get there because the sort of like blurb on the tin of this is a cross-country mega adventure slash you'll be really relieved when you finally get to the place that you want to go because it's like ping-ponging you all over the place trying to showcase the setting that they had created. This pairs with Home of the Brave, which is like expounded setting material for this adventure, basically, or vice versa. This is an adventure for that material, one or the other. What else do you need to know? Adriana is a clone, and this is a big deal. This was written in like 95 or whatever, right? So they were like, "Wow, clones!" And yeah, this is cutting edge stuff. So, Adriana is a clone of her dead sister who died in an accident. She was being kept alive by Dr. Francis for a while. Eventually, it was kind of found out that she would be eventually succumbing to her wounds. Dr. Francis decided to, figure out the keys to cloning and all that kind of stuff. Cloned her. So she has the memories of that person leading up to the accident. And then there's a large gap because 4 years later is when she was cloned from the time of the accident. And you guys were hired by Francis Young to extract her from the company Narcross, which is the company that is now like hounding you across the country trying to get her back because she is, millions of dollars worth of EV to get back. So they keep hiring other people to get at her, and you guys keep messing them up, basically, or evading them completely, etc. Within Adriana's mind is also a sort of Johnny Mnemonic type action stuff where she is keeping. She's not aware of this or anything like of the actual data. She is aware that there's a compartment in her mind that is like digital, and so can store all of this information. I don't think it listed the megs, but it would probably be funny, right? Because when Johnny Mnemonic came out, they were like, "Whoa, you can hold 320 megs on your head." So it might be something like that if they had listed it somewhere. So that's funny. You guys had hired, or not hired, but there was a other netrunner who kind of probed Adriana's mind and discovered that it was like level 5 encrypted, and if you hacked it improperly, it could lead to killing Adriana. So people were like, "Nah, we won't do that." But that was sort of your morality check episode. Like, are you guys bad runners that'll just sell her out or get in this information and kill her anyway because it's millions of dollars, and then you could just retire and kick it up? But everyone turned out to be morally gray or good. So, and I think that brings it up to now. You guys had just finished a mission. on the Mississippi River to take out a company that was dumping all their spillage into the river. You took them out, blew them up with mostly flying colors, and well, I think some people got damaged or something, right, Dan? Yeah. It wasn't perfection, right? And you are on the Varana boat with Cleary and his daughter Grace, who made it out, and heading to New Orleans. So we did like a little bit of time passes type stuff happening here. I will note for everybody preemptively as well that we had an X card played on Confederate flags and stuff like that before, and this is similarly, it seems from my preliminary reading, to be like a very Southern Pride, New Orleans type place. So keep in mind that if you need to use any safety tools and stuff like that, then just pop them out. I'm not too familiar with American culture and past and stuff like that, so if I am reading off statements from Hart that are like offside and stuff like that, just be like, nope. Otherwise, we should be pretty good, I think. Does anyone have any other questions about the mission, especially the people that weren't here for the mission in the first place in the beginning and want to know any more stuff about anything that happened?
Am I gonna have to?
Will, but I'll ask them when they come up.
What was that?
I think I'm going to have some questions, but we can probably start right now and see where things go.
Okay. Darren, what did you say?
I said, am I gonna have to kiss Cleary Eyes?
If you want to kiss Cleary Eyes, you can, but you guys are all paid up because that mission kind of wiped your slate clean with him, right? Before you were going to have to pay X amount of EB, or euro dollars.
You've made him so insufferable that I'm going to back out of my original bargain.
Well, I mean, I was just playing the character with some...
Some of us have to keep playing our characters, Fraser.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I'm just being authentic with Cleary. Cool. Okay, so you all know this is leading us into a different like module in this. It's 4 modules with different units. The end of that thing that we just played brings us to a new module called Delta Blues, which I will show you the picture of because it seems pretty wild. Everyone's having lots of fun in the Delta Blues. So there's a picture on Roll20 of what's happening. A lot of people partying. Looks like Poseidon in a boat. And a lot of half-naked to naked people. And some corporate skyscrapers in the background. They're having a good time. And episode 1 is called Southern Comfort. So, yeah. I think we are good with how we wrapped up last time. I don't think there's any loose ends on the boat or anything like that, right? So, Michael Hart is the fixer. That's the thing that should kind of be on your mind. You want to get in touch with him. He said to like throw off the pursuit of you, stop heading east or west. I can't remember which, and probably east, I'm guessing. I'm not sure though. Throw off the pursuit, head south instead of east or west, because that'll trip them up. Before you were in Memphis, you caused a big hoopla. You killed a gang leader of the Elvi or Elvises that were deified in that place, and that kind of rained down hell on it. Then Michael got in touch with you and was like being a little shadowy, shady fixer, but it was like kind of your only recourse. So you should be looking to get to New Orleans and hook up with him. Let me tell you a little bit about New Orleans. So in this future, and we can then do some painting of the scene to further change New Orleans into something that we want, not having to strictly adhere to this, but it's still pretty interesting, I think. New Orleans is only a shadow of the great city it once was. Not only have Dixie and the Deep South become tragically poor, but the decay of the American infrastructure has resulted in the flooding of the drained swamp on which New Orleans was built. The levees have held the ocean out of the city, gave way a long time ago, and now New Orleans is a poor imitation of Venice, with crumbling skyscrapers and buildings rising out of the canals that flow where once there was straits. The city would have had to be evacuated were it not for two things: Southern pride and the corporations. Southern pride kept the people in the city. When all seemed lost, they adapted, moving up a few floors and rebuilding the city's power grid so that it traveled overhead or in waterproof conduits beneath the canals. The corporations stepped in, protecting their own investments in the South when the corrupt Cotton Republic governments refused to spend the money necessary to keep the city alive. They replaced sidewalks with overhead walkways and built plazas above the water level downtown and in outlying commercial areas. There are a few medium-sized skyscrapers in downtown New Orleans, which was built to stand in the water, including the Arasaka Southeastern Bureau, Petrochem Gulf Operations, and Dixie Bank Towers. None is taller than 40 stories. So those things that I just said, those are like predominant corporations that are down here, especially Arasaka Southeastern. That's like a big thing that sort of dominates the entire area, not just this city. Despite inundation, New Orleans still lives. The population of the city has adapted to life at water level. Water taxis, small boats, and motor gondolas have replaced cars, and overhead walkways connect city blocks. Building roofs supply the open space for parks and plazas and cafes. The prized spaces in any building is the middle stories between the bustling roofs and waterways. And it's called, I guess, the Big Easy. Life in the Big Easy is difficult. The Cotton Republic governments, Louisiana, and the other Deep South states keep a strict watch over the population. Police and militia troops are everywhere. Patrols cruise the waterways day and night, shining spotlights into dark crevices that line the canals. Possession of weapons and other hunting rifles and sporting shotguns are illegal. Suspicious-looking characters are likely to be searched. The police will have an excuse to throw strangers in jail, of course. And yada, yada, yada. They look for cyberpunks and try to find you. Because y'all are carrying illegal weapons and they don't like you because you're part of a subculture that's hated. So, pretty neat. I thought that was interesting take on that New Orleans. Although I will say, for being written in like 92, 93, 95, something like that, if you roll on encounter tables, one of them's a hurricane, so that was a little rough reading that. But let's see. Yeah, so we're good. Okay, so you're currently floating or being propelled by this ship, not just floating, down the Mississippi. You hit New Orleans. You see these sites like the poor man's Venice type thing, right? I kind of like the idea of the picture being the first thing that you see, right? Like the towering corporations, and you kind of like negotiating through these people. It's kind of got like a Strange Days vibe to me, where like it's almost the turn of the millennium and people are partying and you're negotiating your way through that and stuff. So you're on like this fairly small boat meant for max 10 people. And there's all these people partying. Apparently Poseidon is out and about on his boat with like a mermaid for the mast or something. And people are having a good time. What else is it that we notice in the city, you guys think, that make it both cyberpunk and a detail that also is something that is more modern day and not cyberpunk, something that we would notice that is like withstood the tests of time that the city has had to deal with? I'll start with Lauren. Definitely looks like she's thinking, so I'll wait. I was gonna say Lauren, but she's like thinking mid-post. So Alex, do you have something?
I have one of the two, and I can come up with the other one. So one of the things about New Orleans is that like one of the main routes to get into the city is a bridge that's in two parts, and the longer of the two parts is almost 24 miles long. And I think that with the flooding probably taking up a lot of like the land in the area, I think they've built out these huge like cantilever piers off of this bridge that have like full on like basically small neighborhoods on them. They're not like big enough for a full neighborhood. A cantilever is where you've got a long thing hanging out and then like a really heavy weight on the other side of the fulcrum point to sort of counterbalance the weight. So basically they just these like, you know, couple of blocks long arms sort of sticking off of either side of this bridge with these massive weights to keep them up. And so I think those have all different kinds of neighborhoods and scenes going on there. And the thing that's the same, again, a place I've never been. I guess one thing is that like pace of life in New Orleans is usually, or like these days is still like pretty laid back and like people don't move. It's not like, oh, gotta get to our next place, gotta get things done. It's like, take your time, enjoy yourself. And I think that that's not like what everybody does, but there's still like a attitude in a lot of places in the city of people being like, nah, come on, slow down, sit a while or have a drink or, you know, whatever. You don't always need to be on to the next thing.
Sweet. I like that. Darren?
Is Christianity just like done in this future?
I haven't. I read Home of the Brave a while ago, and it's like a lot of the religions have survived, and a lot have been like appropriated by strange other things, like kind of like the Elvi, right, where it's ostensibly Christianity, but instead they've deified Elvis. Those kind of twists. But that being said, you know, I think we can accommodate whatever vision you have in your brain.
Well, I mean,
Just
I think Mardi Gras is happening because New Orleans, but I guess we'll say Poseidon's the reason for the season. And I think that, I mean, that's the thing that's the same, like Mardi Gras always happens. That's always going on every single year. So even though the town's flooded, we're Mardi Gras-ing. But I think what is different about it these old days is that the Mardi Gras like processions, aside from like the people in boats and like acting like fools in the water, nearly all naked, is that they project like historical Mardi Gras parades and everything onto the water as if it was a street. So you see, it's just like a mess. You see like boats moving through different, because they're like broadcasting it the entire night. So it's like different I don't know, they just go through every single year or whatever of different periods. And it's just boats and people and holographic people. The water is probably littered with beads, cheap fake beads.
Those cheap fake beads. Does it look like, is the projection good enough that it kind of looks like if you were swimming in the water, it looks like you're coming out of concrete? Or is it like how good is this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're projecting an image of the sidewalk. Like, it's just as if the people were walking on the water. So no cement. I'm being a stickler about that. Don't know why. But I think that it's like very good, but it's like 4K HDR. Do you know how if it's like wait, let me work through this. If it's like in a dark room and you don't have a 4K TV or whatever, and it's like you see the colors coming off it, the color looks ultra vibrant. Do you know what I mean? Does that match up for everybody? You follow what I'm saying? Okay. So it's like the color depth is too deep, so it just like looks, people like know that it's fake even though it's like super accurate. And also I think that everything is just miscolored. Like there's green people and purple people, and outfits, Mardi Gras outfits aren't the right same colors or whatever. I think we just fuck with the broadcast however they want.
Cool. That's awesome. Lauren?
I guess they have food on the brain, so I can only think about food. I think the thing that's the same about New Orleans is there's still like a lot of very pervasive jazz culture that is very like as we know today. And there's probably like a band on a float like out in the water with the people that are partying, sort of like playing like jazz music, maybe with the addition of a conch if like everything's watery and stuff. And I think the thing that has changed is as New Orleans is flooded, beignets. It's like the only thing I know other thinking about New Orleans is the beignets. They're now like seaweed based, so they're kind of like this really salty sweet delicacy where it's like deep fried seaweed with like some jam on the inside. And there's like vendors also selling like cones of that and stuff to people who are at this place.
Cool. Matthew?
I was literally going to talk about music and food, so I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Yeah, I think maybe just to like add a little bit. I think I know that like seafood is really important as well. Like jambalaya and gumbo and stuff, like those are well-known foods there. So I think there's like, I like to think that there's like fast food, like boat trucks sort of like moving around, and like kind of just like everyone's got like bowls or cups out sort of just because it's a celebration. So it's just kind of like they'll just, you know, they hand you a ticket or whatever and you just like dump a scoop of whatever it is, or maybe it's like automated or something, because why the heck not? It's like a soda vending machine, except you just get like soup and stuff in it instead. And I think there's also like just because this is part of what Trella got like really enchanted by while she was at school, kind of like finding out music from other cultures that wasn't like the, you know, ultra white classical music that she was being like shepherded into sort of. There's kind of like the second line kind of thing. So there's like even brass bands out in certain areas that are doing more upbeat stuff. And then I guess I think there's also like synthesizers and drum machines and stuff as well too that are kind of like integrated with that, that are maybe like even part of the boat itself or something. Kind of like there's kind of a new like musical movement that's catching on. It's like bounce music sort of, and it's kind of like a call and response kind of thing. So like someone would like shout something out from the boat like with a like massive amplifier, and then like everyone on all the stands and stuff will like yell it back to them. So there's just kind of like a big party vibe like that. Yeah, stuff
Cool.
like that.
Cool. And Michael?
I mean, yeah, at this point, I might just be building up on other people's ideas, but I was thinking, like, visually, you see all the people up on their balconies, right? Just like every balcony, and it's like super dense and tightly packed now. That's all cyberpunk future, right? But then, like, as like you pan down to like the actual canals, right? There's people with like hoverboards, like going over the water, and people with like skim disc feet, right, that they've had implanted, and they're all going on the water. People with like other kinds of like aquatic cybernetic enhancements that are like finding their unique way to travel across the city. It's, I think, like what sets New Orleans apart in the cyberpunk future than other cities is that while they all have their cool free runners with their grappling hooks and whatnot, all the New Orleans free runners have like like flippers and stuff built into them. That's their form of free running. And I think another cool detail would be too, like in some cyberpunk fiction, krill is like a common food source in the future. They have huge like tanks and vats where they like raise krill to be like processed and ground up to make like everything. But I think like here in New Orleans, they have like a really large like crawfish like vat or factory or whatever. But some cyberpunks have come and like gashed a big hole in this like vat, so now there's like just a bunch of crawdads that like are just filling all the rivers and canals, and people are just like scooping them up in nets and like feasting on them, and sucking the juice out of the heads. Ooh, I can't get it, but that's a New Orleans thing, so we'll get it to them.
Interesting. I was not aware of that. Cool. Yeah. So I think at first it is extremely packed, right? Like everyone's partying, people are swimming. It's really hard to negotiate these waters and stuff like that. But then as you get close to Poseidon, you like put his thing in the water, right? And it like emits some sort of like pulsing thing that like is mostly just like a electronic song, like some EDM or something like that, but it signals everybody to get out of the way, and he's thinking he's like quite cool, right? This guy, his like beard is quite long, and he's got like the whatchamacallit, the thing that goes on the forehead that shows you're like a king, the thing that starts with a T, tiara, maybe.
Tiara. Tiara.
Okay, sure. Yeah, he's got that going on, and I just thought that was funny, so I wanted to inject that. But yeah, everybody parts after that, and I think people are, of course, throwing all the like the cheap beads and stuff on the ship and all of that kind of stuff as you're making your way through.
I want to flick my cigarette butt at Poseidon.
Nice, that's a bitch thing to do. Why'd you do that? He like helped you out.
Oh, he didn't ask me. I'm just annoyed.
Okay, sounds good. So as you're floating along this river and stuff, did anyone want to have any scenes? I think Adriana, when she sees this is definitely a new thing for her, right? Like this is definitely the freest she's seen anybody. Like she's went to like a couple clubs with you guys and was definitely picking up on the like dance as freedom stuff that you guys were dropping, getting into that. But this is like half the city is partying, right? And the only people that aren't are like the wage slaves and stuff. So I think she's basically just like enthralled or entranced by all of this stuff and taking it in, and with like a smile on her face. Has Bina or Iota got her to do anything else? Like, is she wearing like a new piece of clothing, or has like a new tattoo, or any of the things that you guys have been slowly doing to convert her from once a very proper looking lab tech to a little bit of a cyberpunk like y'all?
I think I lend her one of my wigs that I have a whole bunch of, and she like isn't she's not wearing it perfectly, but like she's rocking some color. I think it's like like orange and then like to yellow down to the ends.
Cool.
But she's just like not totally comfortable in it, but she'll learn. She'll work it.
Yeah. Well, and you guys saw her hair, right? She could use it. So. Well, everyone's hair in this module is 90s. So, although one thing, like normally I wouldn't post the picture of welcome to New Orleans. Maybe I can share my screen. So normally I wouldn't show some of this art, but the thing that's neat about it is throughout the whole module, I think it does a really good job of highlighting diversity, and like the tone is really in line with it, even though sometimes it definitely has some 90s preconceptions about how it treats the ladies, particularly Adriana and some other stuff. I was surprised that the art was so good and diverse throughout it, at least. Not even ones these days are quite so good. But yeah, they definitely all have like 90s interesting haircuts. That is the only thing they weren't trying to be progressive about. Snap, no, just kidding. Yeah, but did anyone want some scenes on the ship before we transition to you guys like docking and getting on with what you guys want to do in the city or anything?
I think Bina probably did like sew some DIY like animated patches onto like some of any of like Adriana's leftover like lab clothes.
Iota, is this our hometown? I keep forgetting where exactly we're supposed to be from.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably like reminiscing a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would like to have a scene between Iota and Autumn.
I am at the closest thing to a crow's nest, I think, on this boat. And I'm just like, me and Duchess are like perched up at the highest point, driest point, you know, just like not liking the surrounding water, you know.
Are you guys dancing up there to the music?
Well, it's hard not to bob my head, I guess. Would you try to like get me out of my mood, or what do you think?
Yeah, man. Yes, I would. Iota is definitely enjoying it. This is like, I don't like dancing, so I'm gonna go the other way. So yeah, I think Iota is like dancing a little bit and like whooping at other people, like in other boats, and trying to get you to get into it a little bit.
Well, hard to turn you down. Do you have like a cool skate feet dance you do? Like, is this like a makeshift roller rink that you've made on this boat?
I think that's maybe what I was doing, but like if you join in, I stop.
Oh. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you know, I know that there's like a big crowd around, but like, what sort of like a vibe are you giving me as we dance? Like, we're good buddies, we're back at home, or like, what do you think?
Probably more in that vein. Mostly, I don't know. I think it's been a while since I've been back here. So just sort of soaking it all in and sort of living in the energy and the moment.
Well, I think I would say Autumn would say like try to remember what his voice was like. He was kind of deep, like yeah, Mardi Gras was always the best time around here, wasn't it?
I mean, for the most part. when it wasn't fucked up by tourists.
Well, I think it's been like that for a century.
So have you just sort of been hanging out down here? What have you been up to?
You know, I always said I would get out of this town, but I can't seem to get away from it. Even with all the water.
I mean, you're just missing different kinds of shitty places.
You've seen some stuff out there? Anything worth sticking around?
Not yet. I'll let you know if I do.
Yeah. I might take my turn as a tourist. First, I gotta make some damn money. Cut commission.
Yeah. Have you guys not returned in like a while, or do you guys come back like often? Like, has the city changed a lot for you as well?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that maybe, like you said, Iota, that like I've been hanging around here for a little while, right? And just now starting to branch out, maybe. But as far as how it's changed since I was a kid, I mean, like 10 years, I think that the changes are like, you see different different brands, different names up in the lights, but like, it's still the Big Easy,
The Big Easy. Cool. All right. Anyone else want any scenes, interactions with people on the boat?
Charla, do you think I conned you into boxing with me to teach you how to dodge better?
Oh boy. Yes. But I definitely either before or after, probably after, I definitely got you to loosen up a little bit and dance a little more like embarrassingly than you might have otherwise. I don't know what you're like with that normally, but I'm like putting all the ridiculous moves on. I'm like not the greatest dancer, but I'm kind of aware of like how people dance here, so I'm like trying to do it. And I'm like trying to get you to do it too. But yeah, I think we're boxing first.
Sure. I don't I don't know how boxing works, but we're doing it. What is
what's your teaching style? Sorry,
I don't know.
It's a montage, right? Like Rocky. That's how boxing works.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I think that there's some music playing, and I'm probably making you run laps around this tiny boat with me, and then as we're boxing, I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if I didn't say anything because I kind of hate street fighting and this whole boxing thing. So showing you being, I'm probably like, as we're doing it, I'm probably like, Trella, listen, I barely pay attention to this. I don't want you picking this up. It's just gonna get you in trouble on the streets. But like, there's some good things you need to know.
Right, like the foundation, right?
Yeah, like you're moving your feet around and like Omen like kind of bops around like boxers do, and then probably tries to throw a punch. I don't know if you dodge or not, but I hope you do.
I don't. I think I was doing this annoying thing where I was like starting to like dance along to the music like while I'm doing my boxer move or whatever, and I'm like I look away for a second, and you like throw a punch, and I just take it in the face.
Yeah, that's probably where it stops. You probably get me to dance because I feel bad because I don't think Omen dances at all. I think he thinks he's too cool for that. But
No,
picking you up.
well, I think if you hit me, like I'm ready to go, like again. I'm like, oh, this is how it is, huh? And then I like get like way more into it at that point. So I think we probably like I'm still not very good at this, but I'm like trying my best. I'm like, and I think you're like a foot taller than me. I don't know how tall you are, but I'm pretty short. I'm like 5'1", 5'2",
Yeah.
maybe.
That's fair. We can say I'm in 6 foot.
Yeah. So I go for these like big uppercuts, and like, do you like, are you like hard ass like just trying to get me to like learn as best as you can, or are you kind of like encouraging me and like letting me hit you once in a while and stuff like that?
I think I'll let you hit me because I don't expect you to be able to hit me very hard. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think when I do connect, it's like a good one. I think you got me a little pissed off the first time, but I'm kind of like you know like laughing about it, but I'm like still kind of pissed. So the first time I actually punch you, it's like dazed for a second, and then I don't know if you let me do it much after that, but
yeah, no, I think we'll keep going. Yeah, Fraser, let us have our Shonen Jump training montage. But yeah, no, I think it keeps going, and it probably maybe we both get heated, and then we're like, oh wait a minute, this is training.
yeah. I think a song comes on, and I'm like really locked in the music or whatever, and I'm just like dodging and like everything along to the beat of what's happening, and then like after the song's over, I'm just like, oh, whew. I was a little lost there.
Shit, Chala, you're not good at this, but if you got good, you could really hit somebody.
Well, I can see why this would be useful. I don't know why you don't want me involved. I mean, I think I should learn how to do this.
No, stay out of it. Once you're gonna get distracted by the glitz and the glamour that's blood splattering all over you in a street fight, and then you're gonna
What if we get some agents coming in? I need to know how to defend myself. This is what I came here for. I want to get in the mix.
I'm saying don't get your fists out in the wrong part of town, because then someone's gonna lay a bet down and it's gonna sound like a lot of money, but it's really not, because you're gonna lose out on like 2/3 of it. Just don't buy into it.
I have a problem with buying things.
Oh, Trella.
Yeah, and then I think I'm just like, all right, this is done. Let's go upstairs, because this is my jam right here.
What are you gonna show me?
I think like some viral dances, like stuff that like I would have been like while I was at school, like we would watch on our off time or whatever and try and like practice in the mirror and stuff like that. And like it's like obnoxious kind of like teenager stuff, but like if people like on the land like see me doing it, they'd be like, hey, or whatever, and like kind of like be laughing at me, but it's still cute. And I don't know if you go along with this bullshit. I try to get all of you into this too. Like I'm trying to get like some group choreography happening.
Yeah, I'll go along with that for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I definitely try to get Bina involved because I know she can at least dance better than maybe some of the others involved. But I'm just like, okay, you need someone to show you how it's done because I'm not obviously doing a very, very good job.
Yeah.
Omen takes that pretty hard.
Bina's for sure into this, and I think she even like pulls like Adriana into it as well to like dance with him.
Yeah. Fraser, what's Adriana like when we try to get her to dance?
I think at first she's pretty hesitant, but then she gets pretty into it. It definitely in my head, it's looking like you're teaching her liquid, but you guys probably don't know what that is, right? It lasted like 10 minutes in like the scene here. Liquid is like when you use your hands during a rave to make them look like actual liquid.
Oh, like this kind of thing?
Yeah, right. That's the viral dancing for sure.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, there's
yeah.
Like that.
And the better you are at it, the more fluid you look, right? Like the more sort of like sinewy and watery and all that kind of stuff it is.
Yeah.
It was very much like the mark of like the raver kids in our school that were just like, oh, you can't even do liquid. We can't talk.
I've got a few friends who are very talented. Yeah. What about Bina? Is she graceful? What's her like background like as far as that kind of thing?
Ooh, I think her background is like she's pretty dance like no one's watching. I don't think she's particularly graceful, but there's a lot of passion and energy behind it.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure. Lots of
that's where I'm at too. So
nice.
I think,
We look
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And
We're just letting
Bina will
them
for
know.
sure like pull Adriana into the similar dance moves with her and try and dance with her.
What does this look like connected to the veil? Like when you put on your Decker goggles stuff, like in your picture and stuff like that. Like what does this look like instead, Bina? Or
Ooh,
anyone connected to the veil?
I feel like I don't know, when people dance in this space, like their movements are echoed by like various colors and stuff, like representing the energy that's in the air and that kind of thing. So there's like a lot of like delayed like after images of like people dancing around the place and stuff. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think there's some like posers off in the corner that they sound pretty good, but then when you put your visor on and you see what they're doing, you see that it's basically just them playing like Rock Band. Like the notes are coming and they just have to like hit them when it like strikes them in the visor or whatever. So everybody's
totally.
like, those guys are posers if they're connected to the veil, right? Otherwise, they just look like they're doing pretty well. They're being
How much
helped
control
out.
do we have over like manifesting stuff into the veil, and like how does that like as far as Bina's perception of this, is that because of her or because of what like people are actually emitting into this digital space?
We haven't really codified that in this setting before, really. Most of the time, the only time we have looked at the veil is when Bina is like affecting some kind of change in it, and it's usually like a roll. So it could be a subjective thing, a feed like what that's specifically how Bina interprets the feed of the veil, and other people could see it differently, which is probably best actually, because that way if we have other net runners and people that can see the veil, they can feel free to say like how they choose to view the veil and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if I can see this very well, I think a lot of it is characterized by emojis, and I'm like firing them off into space basically, and like I can like see everyone's like soul emoji, you know, or like what they're putting out while they're dancing, sort of like
Soul
their emoji energy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's how I see the world.
Nice. So if people are sad or something, then you can see the sad emoji.
Yeah.
If they're having a good time, then it's a happy emoji. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like lots of heart eyes emojis, and you know, different colors of hearts depending on like what kind of love they're sending out into the world. You know.
Maybe Poseidon's crew has their custom emoji that's like the Poseidon trident or something, right? That they're just flicking out there, and people are like, "Oh, this guy."
I just like the idea of like while I'm dancing, just like shooting emojis at people who are like standing like along the edges of things.
Cool.
Anyways,
yeah, cool. Does anyone else want any scenes? Everyone's good? Cool. So we get all that. And then we kind of do like a cut, and you guys are pulling up to maybe one of those. Oh, what are they called again, Alex? Like the things that are jetting out that are kind of like towns. What are they called?
So the like engineering structure, the cantilever.
Cantilever, right? Yeah. So maybe you guys, Cleary maybe has like a house or something on one of these communities and is like docking there. Funnily enough, if I'm following this, I have to roll for how long Cleary is going to be there, which is pretty funny. It's like 2d6 plus 2 days or something. After that, the freeloaders have to go. But yeah, I think it takes a really long time, right, to like negotiate through this. It was already getting like fairly late, so you arrive in midnight at one of these places. It's definitely not a super nice neighborhood area. Cleary is sort of like barely scraping by, and he's putting most of his money into the River Raider stuff going on. And otherwise, though, he tells you you're like free to crash basically in the boat for a little while if you need to. And we get like a nice sort of like panoramic shot of the sort of dichotomy between the cities, like enthralled between the sort of heart of this place, which in the background we can see like all that crazy stuff going on in the Mardi Gras action. And then sort of panned on the right is like the corporate community that's all like dark with like the neon lights, and there's still tons of lights on in the buildings because people are working hard in post-capitalism. And yeah, that's what's up. So what is your guys' plan? Are you going to try to set up a meeting with Michael Hart? And if so, what is the plan with that? Are you going to try to like, well, actually, if you guys, Iota and Autumn, you're from here, so maybe you know a good place to set a rendezvous, right? Because otherwise the fixer is probably going to be like, we'll meet at whatever location that is beneficial for him, right? But maybe you can suggest a different location that you know and is like a good middle ground or something like that. The book suggests some stuff, but it's kind of boring.
There's a great cat cafe I love.
Have you been to a cat cafe? I've been to one in Korea, and it's like literally the most amazing thing that was like ever.
I actually did go to one in St. Louis. It was pretty legit.
Oh, they have one in St. Louis? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
It was cool.
Is it the same thing where you just like buy a coffee and then the cats just roam around and like you can play with them and stuff like that?
So they kind of had it like they had to have the cats separate from the cafe. So there's like a glass door for like, because apparently it took them like, it was like a real battle for them to get the like food permits or whatever because
right, that makes sense.
Cats there. So, but I mean, you just get your coffee and go through the door and hang out. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So how, what does the cyberpunk version?
What does a cyberpunk cat look like? Well, I don't think they all have cool opposable thumbs. I'll tell you that much. But I mean, is this the kind of place you'd like to go, Iota, or would you be like a cat cafe? Come on, let's go to this jazz club instead. You know, which is much more New Orleans.
Yeah, the book suggests like Hart is out of character, going to be like, we can meet at my apartment or at a club that is sort of like the big thing here. But rather than have the book codify that, I'd rather have you guys, because it's basically the only thing it says is that it's sort of the cyberpunk night scene place. So other than using the details that they provide, we can make that our own, or maybe Iota or you have a different idea.
Iota is 100% on board with the cat cafe.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
It's a jazz cat cafe. Yeah.
Are the cats playing the jazz?
Well, so here's the thing, right? So like this is a very like high-minded jazz club, right? Where they're really into ideas like noise and like the random nature of jazz. So I think that they do have like pianos or synthesizers that are hooked up and the cats just run along and it's just like so it's like this is like the highest form of jazz in these people's opinion.
So is it like actually playing what they're stepping on, or is somebody else like synthesizing it to make it sound really good no matter what they're running around on? Or
well, I mean, I don't want it to be too obnoxious in our minds.
Yeah, don't think.
Right.
Well, it would definitely trip up Michael Hart, right? Like he's trying to run you guys and there's like
yeah, I like the idea that's very like pure.
Pure, yeah.
But maybe there's probably like one like horn man right there, right? Some guy on a trombone or a trumpet who's just sort of like chilling out.
Yeah, jazz is all improv, so
we also have like a really like awesome jazz professional amongst us, so I don't want to step
that's
on
great.
Matt's toes.
No, step all over them, dude. Cats and a trumpet player is all I would ever want in a jazz ensemble.
Okay, cool. So we'll have you guys contact Michael Hart when we come back in 10 minutes or so. Is that good? Come back at 16? Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Cool. I will see you guys then. Okay, so we're back. Alex had to drop it, so that's cool. No worries.
We're not going to get anything done in fiction now.
Yeah, she was sort of the stay on target person, but you have 2 new people to keep you in line. Maybe they'll do it.
Do you guys have swords?
I have like a keyboard sword.
Yeah, you have a
So, yeah.
keyboard sword. That counts.
That counts. Yeah.
Talents.
You're a
Or
new
like-
adult. No sword. You're the new adult. Sorry.
Sorry.
That just has feet swords.
She could hold a sword.
Well, you gotta go buy one.
She has thumbs.
Cool. So, cool. How do you want to contact Hart? Is it the next day? Is it that night? What are we thinking? And who is making the call? Everybody? One person? Who is the proxy?
Group chat.
Hmm?
I said group chat. No, I have no opinions. Oh.
Nice. Okay. So I guess Autumn
Close
is.
one.
I was like, I don't even know this fellow.
That's true. He has talked to only Beta and Omen before.
So I was pre-nose go. My nose went already.
There you go.
Did it go? That could be me. Michael's muted. He's out.
Do you know the fellow?
No.
I mean, we could just say that we did, but
I mean, I guess Bina and I can contact them.
Say
Yeah.
our
I can.
numbers.
However we want to do this.
Cool. How do you contact? Is it through the veil?
think Omen insists on using a payphone, Bina.
Okay.
Nice.
So is it at nighttime or in the day? Like, do you guys all go out shopping or something like that the next day, and then you just are like, I need to use the phone and make a clandestine call off in the corner? Or what? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, so wait, when we got in at nighttime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have insisted on sleeping in a nice flea-ridden hotel for once, a nice bed.
Cool. So
Um,
everyone can get rid of one harm as well then. If everyone's taking a good little nap.
Yeah, just a little nap.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I have anything to shop for. Omen's a pretty simple guy.
I have a lot of things to shop for.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about like mechanically, but fictionally.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Omen absolutely goes with you. I think Omen feels a little protective of you in a strange way, because he's still gonna like stand aside during a mission probably, but in the normal daylight, I don't want you to get beat up on the mean streets.
On the mean streets.
I don't have to go shopping if I'm the only one doing it fictionally. I was just like, if someone's shopping, I'm definitely shopping.
Well, we can hand wave it. Maybe like maybe we get back and like I'm loaded down with all your bags, right? And I'm like, hold on, Chella, I have to make a phone call. And then there's a weird payphone outside of the hotel or something.
Sure. Oh, so you guys aren't crashing on the boat?
No,
No.
I am not.
That's
Okay.
I'm
You-
willing to do that.
Maybe you're staying at the Blue Rose Hotel to give a little nod to William Gibson.
Sure.
It's a short story. Anyway.
So then I hand you back all your bags, Chella, as you make your way back to the boat.
Is this like a nice place? What is this place?
No, it's not a nice place. I don't want to spend the money on a good.
So is it like a Motel 6 cyberpunk be looking place or what?
Yeah, it's like a pod hotel.
Oh, what?
A pod hotel or whatever those are called.
Pot hotel.
A pod.
Oh. Oh, you mean like the coffins?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Sure.
what is
And
it?
then Cyberpunk will call it coffins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Coffin Hotel, New Roads. Cool. Okay. So Yeah, basically what that would look like then is probably like a bunch of storage units, right? And then everybody just
No,
like slides into it, or what?
No,
What does it look
no,
like?
no,
You
no.
tell
It's
me.
the K-Cup Hotel. No,
The
it's very
K-pop hotel.
yeah. So it's themed. No, it's very nice. It probably is a warehouse, but you know they designed it so there's like a lot of nice glass fixtures, and then like the little pods are like vacuum sealed and ventilated, and they're like really clean. They're like a little too cleaned out every single like 8-hour rotation.
And we have video call to all of our friends, so we can just sleep in our own pods and talk to each other.
Oh yeah, that's cute. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think there's like a lot of neon blues because it's the Blue Rose Hotel. Oh, you know what? On the outside of it, there's a bunch of like individual little glass panels that have like some holographic doodads in them, however technology works. And it like shifts. So like during the morning, it's like this closed up bud. The glass like all rotates and crap with the neon lights to close up bud. And then throughout the day, it blooms into a rose. And then it closes back up at night, and it does that.
Cool. So,
Duchess is climbing across the rooftop of the hotel.
so are you in your coffin calling?
No, there's a payphone like in an alleyway behind it. It's like one of the last ones left in New
We
Orleans.
should just do a conference call.
Yeah, maybe the payphone was upgraded with video, so I can like it costs like a few more cents. It costs like a quarter extra for each person, but I can like conference call everyone in if they want to.
Okay.
I'm spending good money on all of you.
Cool. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you're making a like Blade Runner call to this guy, right?
Yeah, sure.
A little video picture thing happening on a payphone.
Oh, I'm not displaying my video. My video is on audio only.
Oh, you're just deep throating it. Cool. Okay.
You scared Matt away.
Yeah, he immediately goes off camera. I meant like anything else. Anyway,
God.
so what is it that you say? What information do you divulge to your fixer?
Who are you?
What do you mean? Like, other than his, you know, his name's Michael Hart, right?
Yeah.
And like, so he said last time that
Mhm.
he's a fixer. He knew Elliot Weir, your previous fixer, and is doing sort of like a favor, taking over the contract that he left in order to get you guys to safety because they were old friends.
Were you just old friends, Michael?
What was that, Darren? You froze it.
Oh, I said, were you just old friends, Michael?
Yeah, we have lost touch over time, though.
No. Well,
Have you been checking up on me?
No, I don't even know who you are.
Keep it that way.
Okay, so we're in New Orleans. Mardi Gras is happening. How in the world do we get Carmen Sandiego to Night City?
We can't
Wait,
talk
actually,
about this
before
over
that-
the line. Why don't we set up a meet so that we're not divulging this information?
Michael, I'm tired. I just got dragged around the city by a teenager shopping.
Okay, but the corporations run deep here. They might be tapped into all of these lines.
Okay, well, I have a room at the Blue Rose Hotel if you want to meet there.
Don't divulge your location. Okay. He's like, are you guys amateurs or what? Don't talk on the line and you're like, this is where I'm at, bro.
This is too much work, Michael. Just, I don't know, you tell me then.
Okay, well, I thought, so out of character, did you guys set up that you wanted to go to the cat cafe, though? He'll say, like, my apartment complex is safe. You guys can meet here.
No, we gotta meet at a neutral location.
Yeah, exactly.
This is rule number one.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go to strangers' houses, Obed. Number one cyberpunk rule.
I was trying to meet at the hotel.
Oh, you want him to come to your hotel?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
All these rules about cyberpunk, I don't know.
And like every detective noir story ever. But
I'm
yeah.
a simple street fighter.
You're what?
A simple street fighter.
That's true, right? So,
You have to treat it
is
like a first
it
date.
presuppose that you guys want to meet up at the cat cafe, or what's the idea at a player level before we answer?
How did we arrange that?
Well, I just imagine you guys talked about this before, right? You're ostensibly competent cyberpunks running a mission.
So if I call them on my cell phone, would this be a whole different story?
No, he still would be like, don't, like, you know, we're
No.
doing the cautionary thing of,
They're always listening, man.
yeah,
We should,
the corporations are just over there.
We should tell him to meet us at the park where there are no dogs allowed.
At the what?
We should say like no dogs allowed in like our conversation with him, so he knows it is the cat
That's
cafe.
the code. Sounds good. I like it.
So that's like the coded phrase that you use to get him to.
No doggos allowed.
Okay.
The dog-free park.
Or so you like meet at a cafe that's like Seattle, where it's like we'll meet at a coffee place on Oak and Remington or whatever. And there's like 2,000 cafes, and then you're like, no dogs allowed, and that's the tip off so that it's a cat cafe.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
Yes.
That sounds lovely. Okay, so
Maybe it was like something that our previous fixer always did or something. Maybe he just loved cats, so that's how this guy understands it or something.
oh, that's neat. Or do you want to put that to like a role where you're trying to like test him to see if he actually knew Elliot or whatever, or what?
Ooh.
That's pretty tricky.
We could. I was thinking like we'd already worked that out, but if we want to come at it that angle, that's cool.
What does Omen think? Does Omen think at all?
No, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And but I like this instruction. So I think that he takes this instruction and he says it very deadpan, not in a natural flow of conversation. I think he just says no dogs allowed in the middle of the conversation at some point.
Okay. Okay, so that's the information that we'll test to see if he knows Elliot or not, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so how are you feeling right now? Let's put this to a roll.
I think that I'm feeling
Confused.
intelligent.
You're feeling intelligent? Well, that's cool.
Hey, my feelings don't have to be right.
That's true.
I
It's a
never get to
subjective
make
thing.
I never get to make the phone call, so I think Omen's like, heck yeah, I'm the new one, and
Does
I'm
your
like,
big brain make you feel powerful?
I'm failing miserably at it. None of my states copied over, so I need to see what is powerful. Is paired up with scared? Oh wait, they paired them up.
It literally says intelligent in the feelings wheel for powerful.
Yeah, it does. I read that wheel real good.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I doing? Are these all the right stats? Did these all copy over? Okay, yeah, they did. Hang on. Roll.
Okay, so you got a 9.
What? Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so okay. I like that this is some information. I thought in my head, I was like, oh, you're trying to test him with more information. Not that the no dogs allowed was the thing that you were testing him on. So, okay, so you get a mid result. You're trying to see if he, test his knowledge of Elliot Ware and see if he like actually knew the guy or not, right? I think he doesn't react to it at all, but he does pick up on what you're saying, right? Like he it is clear to you that he is aware that you are saying that you should go to the cat cafe thing, but whatever subtextual relationship that you had with Elliot is not something that he picks up on with the use of this particular phrase. Is that good?
What does the table think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was thinking this was like the tip-off that would also tell him, like, tell us if he is who he says he is. But yeah, we know where to meet up. That's all we need.
Yeah, well, it is kind of an answer, right? Because they didn't react.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And then the line goes dead. Like, I think there's some awkward silence, right? Well, as you like wait for, I don't know, maybe something Elliot used to say back or something like that. Like it's some sort of signal, but instead the line just goes dead, right?
Yeah.
And so what's going on with the state marking thing, Darren?
Well, now on the new sheet, you can only ever mark one of the two opposing sheet of states. So if you mark mad, you can't mark any in peaceful. Like it just moves the dot out of mad into peaceful.
Interesting. Okay. I'll let him know. I think he said something about submitting an update about states already. But I'll check the like log thing that he sent me. Yeah, sheep person is a gift. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the user Plexoup knows of this and is correcting it.
Oh,
PLEX soup. Thank you. So, and if not, then I'll just let them know. What is there, Darren?
no, I was just reflecting. I realized I had all my states marked wrong in the old sheet anyway because they're just confusing which boxes apply to which thing. I'm a mess.
Cool.
So is this like a morning meetup or are we going tonight? What's the deal?
Yeah, what do you think? Is it right away? Well, if you want to have it the next day, then you can heal one harm at least. So that's pretty good. If you go right away, then you wouldn't be able to, and you might want to be fresher or whatever.
Dog-free park at noon.
Especially since he didn't reply to your like moniker or whatever, right? Whatever those two phrase saying things are that Agent Coulson really likes in S.H.I.E.L.D. that I can never remember the name of. Darren, it's a real thing. Don't look at me like that.
Are you talking about like call and response?
Yeah, like where you say a phrase, right? Like the dog cafe thing, and then somebody else gives you that like the spy reply, like in Mission Impossible when he goes into the record store and that exchange about the record. It's like that. Anyway.
Darren, you're on the line. When are we meeting up? You make the call.
Michael, are you free later?
Like,
I don't want to give the corporation too much information.
But I mean, we don't have to RP it. When did you set it up for?
Well, I don't know. Do people want to sleep more?
Is anybody injured?
No, I can go all night.
Yeah.
I only took one harm, so I'm good.
I think that we set it up for tea time.
You're going to the cat cafe for high tea?
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. Okay, cool. What is the place called?
Cafe.
It's called Cat Cafe. Nice.
No, I said
Jazz-
cafe. It was
Jazz
bad.
and Jenny's. Boots and bars.
Uh,
Nips and quips.
There's got to be a nod to Aristocats or something. You know that Disney movie, or
Oh yeah.
or just cool cats, because it's like a jazz phrase, and all these cats are really cool.
it's true. Cool cat.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
We
It
have
is
cool
known.
cats.
It is known. Cool. So you going in the evening then? You like set up the rendezvous right away?
Is that
I
tea
believe
time?
high tea is late afternoon.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so it's the next day. We'll cut to that. Anyone who needs to have healed one harm can do so. And yeah, cool. So how do you imagine navigating to this place? Is this a thing that you go to along the river, like on the Venice thing? Because there's like all the water taxis and all that stuff that it was mentioning. That would be fun, maybe. Like a motorized gondola of some
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah, it's like a boat Uber.
Yeah. Remember to
Maybe
tip.
it's like it's like a streetcar, you know, how it has those lines, the power lines that it's connected directly to. So the gondolas are connected to those, but it's like a super long connector because it's coming off of like the high rises down all the way to the canal. So there's just this intricate system of gondola wires that are like, looks like a mess, but they're like perfectly arranged and they like move through the canals at just the right times. So nothing ever gets crossed.
So does your taxi driver even need to do the motions of the gondola? No, but do
You're
they
not
still
even a
do it?
taxi driver. You put a quarter into the boat and it goes.
Oh, okay. We eliminated jobs already. Go Cyberpunk. Cool. Okay, so you're going. Yeah, so yeah, since it's like it was saying it was the poor man's Venice or whatever. So I imagine just like in Venice, there's like all the very narrow places, right? And I imagine it's like a little bit harrowing to get to this place at some points because the gondola is like quite thin, so you're in like arranged seating from like stacked, and it goes through like these really really narrow places, and it seems like maybe a driver would be best to negotiate them. But no, you trust the corner, and it like maybe scrapes just like a tiny bit, since the city is constantly like shifting and moving and stuff like that. But you pull through, and Mardi Gras is still happening, right? Do you imagine this place is closer to it or away, or like a neutral territory between the corporation and the Mardi Gras partying place?
I think it's
Yeah,
a neutral
yeah.
ground because what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say no difference. Mardi
I
Gras.
get it. Oh. Could we say that this cat club is like really busy with like students that have come in or something? Like I imagine like a cat club in 30 years from now, it's like cats are huge in pop culture and just everything. So it's got to be like super busy, and like this can probably be an area where kids will come from like richer areas or something, but it's still close enough to the other area. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. All the kids with their Chromebooks.
There's probably like a bunch of like wage slaves too, or like trying to just de-stress, and lower their blood pressure or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. And that you can definitely tell the difference. They're all like in suits and everything, right? And probably like sticking to their own particular crowd. So cool. What do we imagine this place looks like? It's like, so it's a cross between a jazz club, but also features the cats. And imagine, do you think like ordering a specific drink comes with a particular cat or something like that? Like it's a paired thing. So if you order like X particular drink, then it comes with like, I don't know anything about cat breeds, but it comes with like a specific cat breed that is like that, right? I like
If you get like espresso, you get like a really excitable kitten or something. So
yeah,
like, it's like
that's awesome.
personality based too.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What else do you guys think is in there? What else is in this cyberpunk cafe? Ooh, and I like maybe the gondola type thing is going like you go through that narrow passageway, you come up to the place, and it has like the electrified cool cats thing going, kind of like the signal on a Mustang where it blinks from one letter to the next in sequential order. And you actually, I think since it's sunken, you get out and it's sort of got like the whatchamacallit, like you're below the street and get off of the gondola, and then like there's like all these cobblestones and stuff like that, and you kind of like get out below and then walk up into this place, right? And so like the jazz music is playing, people are de-stressing in various cliques, I guess. I'd like to say that the bartender is somewhat like renowned. They're the person that pairs up the drink with the cat, right? So they're like it's kind of like Red Strings Clubby, because I love that game where the bartender just kind of like knows the right thing that you need. Maybe even sometimes like when you go to order, you can order the thing that you want, or you can ask the bartender for the thing that you need, right? And then you get the drink and the cat pairing as you do. What else do you think is in this place? What else do we see? Darren?
Well, let's see. I think that since this is a big student center, a good student hangout spot. Maybe this whole block is like a little college-y area. I think that there's a stairwell that goes down into a basement, and this basement connects a bunch of like other buildings' basements, but generally they're unused. So there's this like really insufferable like art rock scene going on. That's going on like all like 24 hours a day, because there's no like windows obviously, and it's like technically underwater. So it's probably like also full of health code violations, but it's just a bunch of these art students who are down there, and there's probably like layers of graffiti as they constantly repaint over the walls, and then some like weird post-rock, noise rock bands always playing. Yeah, and maybe the cat cafe has like a glass floor so you can see what's going on beneath them, because they're all like very student-y. Or maybe not, I don't know.
Or maybe not. Cool. Lauren, what do you think?
Oh, if the source material for this is 90s, there has to be like a separate room for the cat cafe for people who are allergic to cats, but like still want to interact with them and stuff. And it's sort of like they'll interacting with cats. It looks much like Gigapets, like they get hungry and stuff, and you gotta like feed them, and like you can play games with them and stuff like through your Veil goggles, and like take care of them and like raise them and that kind of thing.
So it's like it's super cute, but it's also the thing where like the people that play the slots, like they show up at 10 a.m. to go there and try to win it at like gamifying the winning of the cat plague. Cool.
Yeah, toads.
Matthew?
I think that we haven't really talked about like the jazz yet. So I imagine there's like the Michael said there's just like a lone horn player, you know, doing their thing, and then there's like the jazz cats around them. So maybe there's like pads on the ground, sort of, and the cats have like learned, you know, it's not like they're jumping around playing on everything. They kind of like walk gently through these like pads on the ground that each make different notes, and the person who's like playing in the middle can like control them, so they can like change what notes they're making if they want. So it's like they're making music with the cats. They're like collaborating. And I think also, you guys know like McDonald's play places, how like kids just go up there and like climb all around. I think like in the walls, there's like that for cats. So you know how like there's like cool hamster cage and stuff. There's just like cats like walking through all these like cool different areas within the walls, so you can just watch them if you get bored.
Cool. And Michael?
So there's a secret VIP area for the freaky corporate bigwigs to go. And it is very similar to the Cat Cafe, except it's all like people. And they have their own human-sized like cat tree furniture that they're all lounging on, and then there's like they're like coming up and they're petting these humans, but that's like all hush hush, you need a different password to get in there.
Is that the password that Elliot Weir would have said on the phone to you guys? When he said we're going to the Cat Cafe, would he have said the password because he was into that, or what?
Is Elliot a furry?
Is he? I don't know. Sure. It's up to you.
Let's roll a die of fate.
Sure. What do you want? High as a furry or no? Low as a furry.
High as a furry. Yes.
It's mid. It's 3 out of 6.
So I feel like in this like they're just like people that
he's a partial furry with a complication cost.
In the future, everyone is 3/6 a furry, I think.
Okay, so he knew the password, but he might not have been a furry. Is that the compromise?
He was just too nervous to put the suit on. He hadn't gotten there yet.
Right. Yeah, it's small steps. That's true. Cool. Okay. So that happened. Yeah, but in the veil. Cool. So you see all this happening. Do you all order drinks and stuff like that, or is it all business? I think in the off at some discreet corner, but not the VIP corner, Michael Hart is there. And I think he is easy to spot because he has a black cat with him, but it's like leashed as it's his own, right? And it's kind of weird that he's got it leashed, I think. It says something about his personality. So, do you guys like get your drinks and go over, or what is the approach?
Hey, do you guys think Michael will buy us like the full tea service? I'm like whispering to you guys right inside the door.
We're not gonna know unless we try.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they dress the cats differently at high tea time? Like, do they have hats on or something?
How could they not? They're all Elizabethan. They're dressed as like queens, old, like queens of the old empire.
Nice. So they dress the cat up in colonizer wear. Is that what you're saying?
No. Okay.
Do they all have? They have to have at least cute.
It could be like old like French Quarter style, like New Orleans. Like they all have like old. Yeah, maybe it's problematic, but that they've sort of appropriated it after 100 years, right?
Yeah, and then
Maybe it can be a little bit Lolita.
it's
Right.
it might be a little problematic, but it's also super cute. Okay.
So I mean,
Exactly. When people come up and they're like, "Have you guys thought about this?" They're like, "But look at them." So cool. The cats are wandering about. They're looking very cute. And Owen is trying to get free drinks or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably like sidle up to the counter and I'm like, "Hey, we want the full ride tea experience, little sandwiches and all."
full ride tea experience. You just keep forcing me to like try to think about what is.
Toot toot, we're on the tea train, Mr. Cafe Man.
Okay. Interesting. So what is this? Full ride tea experience?
I don't know. I think somebody just comes. I'm imagining China laid out, an employee pouring everyone's tea, asking if they want sugar or cream in it, and then like putting the sugar or cream in their teacups, and then like a 3-tier little silver stand that has a multitude of like finger sandwiches on it.
Cool. Yeah. There's always the 3-tier with the different stuff at high tea. That is a truth, that fact. Cool. Okay. So that's all happening.
Put it on a card and point to the black cat.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's got his glasses on even in here because his future's so bright. Just kidding. And he looks like that picture. So he's got like dark hair. He's got it's not mirror shades. They're just like normal sort of round glasses meant for outside. But when he comes inside, they like untint, right? Because futuristic glasses. He's got like the fixer starter kit, which is the trench coat. And it is noted in the novel, or not in the novel, but it feels like a novel. The module specifically says that he carries his phone everywhere with him. So cool. Yeah, he's got his pet leashed, and you guys get your respective drinks and cats with them. And I think like his eyebrow kind of twitches when you're like, say, charge it to his card or whatever, his cred stick, whatever. We haven't established money. It's euro, dollars, whatever it is. And but he sort of like acquiesces after the little twitch, and then he'll write the check. Yeah. It's like off in the corner. You have like 3 or 4 of these trays of sandwiches and stuff. He waits for the person serving you, the waiter, waitress, whichever, to leave. And then he says, "It's a shame about Elliot, isn't it? Were you close?" To everyone, I guess.
No.
That is a pretty cyberpunk thing to say, actually. We're just like, whatever.
You know the guy.
Okay. I think he just like neatly segues into what he says next, then after it gets awkward. And he says, oh, do you take Adriana with you, PS? Or is she like doing something else?
Trilla tries to make her part of the group, but it's up to the responsible ones.
We probably should have her with us. She's like both an object and a person, so. Okay,
then I think he like sees her and like he starts getting like paranoid and darting around and stuff like that, and he's like, "You brought the $1 million lady, so to speak, with you. You must be confident in your abilities."
She's not a boxer.
Right. It's like you're trying to make it awkward. Yeah. He says, Elliot's abilities didn't protect him. I hope you guys are better at being cyberpunks than him. He says runners, though, instead. I just thought that was funny.
Well, Michael, we got blown out of the sky. Some Elvises kidnapped her. So I just don't know if it would have been a good idea to leave her on a boat.
Fair enough, I guess. And he grabs like cucumber sandwich or something. It's like awkwardly starts eating at it.
I will take one too and eat it more confidently to make it into a competition.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see if you win or not later. Also, if you look down, his cat's name is Precious, the black cat, and it has like cyberized yellow eyes that glow quite bright. Yeah, roll for that. You try to make him awkward. What are the stakes? But he says, heading south instead of west. Oh, I was wrong. It's west, not east. Threw them off their organized pursuit, but Narcross is right behind y'all. It's a lucky thing that you came to me. Narcross is concentrating their efforts around Omaha, Kansas City, and Tulsa, the major cities west of Memphis, I'm told. The problem now, though, is that they also put out a wide contract on you all. So bounty hunters and solos are going to be a problem. If you don't know Cyberpunk 2020, solos are just like kind of like the street samurai folks. They're really good at range combat typically. Sometimes up close too. They might have a katana. Obed. And Narcos has clearly put word out on you. All your the altercation with the Elvi, and his eyebrows kind of raise, right? And he's like, that was unwise, is widely publicized, and the stills from it have been removed and put out. Even your alterations to Adriana have been noted, right? Because she looks quite different now than what she originally looked at. She's more punk looking now, thanks to the efforts of, well, everybody. It's been circulated through the underground from every major city in the continental United States has this information now. God knows how many hard cases, solos, and freelance trackers are looking for you. Their orders are to return the woman alive. The standing offer is €1 million. Are you trying to say something, Jared? Yeah, well,
this is why you got to teach me to box, Alman.
Yeah, well, you guys were getting paid, what, like $400 or a day or something? So $1 million is a lot. In terms of what Elliot set up in your Night City location, I don't know anything about that. I'll help you get to Night City. As far as your contact, you'll have to locate them on your own. But remember this, Narcross knows that you were originally bound for Night City. The network will be looking for you there. If that's where you're still headed, you'd better keep your eyes open. If we have some way of establishing your rendezvous, you better get on it. And he says that I wouldn't stay here too long either. New Orleans is going to get hot just as fast the longer you stay around.
I mean, aren't you the guy that knew Elliot? Like, can you like help us with that?
Elliot had his own contacts.
Hey, Mr. Fixer, man, how about you fix us up with something?
Why, I'm abiding the contract insofar as getting you all to Night City. Once you're in Night City, that's Cyberpunk Town. You runners will be safe. You'll just have to find your rendezvous. I'm sure Elliot tipped you off. / there's a thing in the notes that's like the thing that you need to get the cipher for or whatever. You have half the cipher.
Well, we better arrange a way out.
Yeah. He says the mainland is getting hot, but I think I know a way to cool off the trail.
Are you putting us back on a boat?
Just hold on. Oh, I love this guy's dialogue. If we can get you off to the mainland for a while, we should be able to get you some breathing room. I could arrange road transport between New Orleans and Night City, but it would be a huge risk. It's a long drive, and you'll run into a lot of people between here and the West Coast. Commercial air travel would be suicide. You guys previously were on air travel, and it got shot down and blew up. So that's the thing that happened. It's a long drive, and you'll run into a lot of people. I've been trying to hook up a private charter, but the closest I've been able to come to is Galveston. There's a personal friend, someone I trust. He won't fly out of New Orleans, though. A little bad blood with some of the locals. It's just as well, though, because you will need some time to figure out what you're going to do when you reach Night City. And I've figured out how to get you there. Ever since the Petrocorps abandoned the Gulf oil fields, nomads and freelancers have taken over the abandoned platforms. It's a multinational fringe community. There are Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Mexicans, South Americans, and everything else living out there. It will be nearly impossible to trace you through the offshore community. It should be easy to score cheap, untraceable sea or air transport between the platform colonies and Gulf Coast ports. If we can get you to Galveston that way, then I can arrange air charter from Galveston to Night City. Easy. The time spent offshore will throw Narcross off. Also, I don't think they'll check the offshore communities, and if they do, they'll have a hard time finding you. The Gulf nomads are not likely to make it easy for corporate agents. And info dump.
Thanks, Mr. Hart. That's exactly what we were looking for.
We need one more thing. Mikey, we need one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need this credit card turned back on.
The expense card, of course. If you like slide it over discreetly or whatever, right? He'll like palm it and then like give you a different one to use.
Is that required, or can I have some attitude and toss it at him?
Yeah, you can do that.
Consider it so tossed.
I'm just trying to make it all noir-y, you know.
I don't think Owen has a drop of noir in him.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you toss it at him and he catches it, right? Super quick.
Oh wait, maybe his cat catches it. It's like,
Oh, I like that. Sure. The cat catches it, and then, maybe the cat actually has like the card already like under the collar or something, so the cat like catches it and then like saunters over to you, and the card's there, right? Yeah. So, any other questions?
So basically he said we could fly with his buddy, but Orleans first, and then fly with him, or we could travel by the offshore route through the oil colonies by getting boat transportation or air or something, and we could take that to a city, and then he could get us flown to New Orleans from there.
Yes.
Sorry, Night City.
So he has like a friend who's like a private charter air pilot person who has like their own plane, but to get on that you need to get there, and to get there he's saying that you should take the offshore route because all the nomads and stuff like that are not friendly to that route. The multinational fringe community.
He said we go through the offshore communities to get to the other side of the Gulf, and then we fly to Galveston.
Yeah, and then from Galveston you get picked up by his buddy, and then he flies you to Night City.
Oh, I thought we were just getting a flight to Galveston. I was like, Jesus.
No, so
Layovers.
He thinks that you should get cheap, easy to score, cheap, untraceable sea or air transport between the platform colonies and the Gulf Coast ports to Galveston. The guy that he has like arranged this flight for is there. He picks you up and gets you to Night City, and then you have to deal with finding your contact or whatever.
Got it.
If this guy's got bad blood with the locals, maybe that's for a good reason. But I'm willing to go along with this because the oil colonies sound so cool, and I just want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of this story is like that, to be honest. They're just like, we have a really cool location. How can we get them there? Yeah. So does anyone else say anything or anything?
I think that while Trella and Omen are kind of, hashing it out with the fixer, I kind of turn to Bina and I'm like, do we really have to go through water again? At least tell me there's some good music out in those offshore bakes.
I think Bina looks a bit like she likewise. I think she can only doggy paddle. Like she's not the strongest swimmer either. But she like waves a hand at you and is like, "Sweetheart, there's always like amazing music wherever I go. So don't worry, I've got you covered there."
Okay.
What do you like? I can play you anything.
Well, I'm starting to get a little sick of jazz, if I'm going to be honest.
Cool, no jazz. Easy.
No offense. Well, what do you like? I know when you have quite a broad range, but what's your top tier?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I like a lot of like experimental shit. Like I was so jamming when we were like mixing all those sounds from that bass with like the screams and like the sound of water and stuff. Like I love taking the sounds of like nature and shit, like and putting that into like my sweet like electronic music.
Well, I'm exploring new places. I'm exploring new people. Guess it's time to start exploring new music.
Yeah, we should sample some of like Duchess and then we can put that in the music.
Yeah. Meow. Right.
Totes.
Do you get Duchess to go on that same area where the cats are walking to make the music?
Oh yeah, I think that'd be a great little like, because obviously there's like music video like moments in this show that we're writing here, right? So I think that there's like a little brief cat jazz interlude. But yeah, I probably jump in and I'm like, actually, like it looks like this cat is like, I mean, she probably pops out her thumbs and like is playing on the piano or something wild like that. Actual chords, blowing some minds.
Nice. Blow those minds. Cool. Everybody else just has a rent a cat.
How many sandwiches has Michael eaten?
I'll roll. D4 sandwiches. He has eaten 2.
Let's see how many I've eaten.
Okay.
I have bested him.
Why did you roll 2d4?
Isn't that what you rolled?
No, I rolled 1d4.
Oh, well, I really bested him then.
Yeah, apparently. I guess it's for each hand, right? He's only eating with one hand, and you're using both. Just shoveling it in. Legit.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Those little cucumber sandwiches are not very filling.
It's true, they're quite small. And I don't even know what other treats are on there. All I remember is the cucumber
I
sandwiches.
think it's just variations on that. There's like a dill sandwich or a cucumber sandwich, something else.
Yeah. Cool. Does anyone else say, interact, do anything, want to know anything from Michael Hart? Anything like that?
I feel like Fraser's got like a whole page of info that he's waiting for us to ask.
It's fine.
Michael, what's your favorite spot in New Orleans?
My favorite spot is the Adrian. I think that's what it's called. Let me just check. Oh, that's a lot of... Oh, it's Antoine's. Sorry. Antoine's is a district club that caters to the New Orleans cyberpunk community. I'm surprised you've not heard of it.
I've literally never left New York City, so.
Right. Well, it is. Oh, it actually says what it's like in New York. It's like the Skeleton Coast in New York. Like the cyberpunk
The
night.
Skeleton Coast is like so 2018. It's so over.
Well, Antoine's is really good. You should go there sometime. He's definitely trying to be like, I want to punch this guy in the face. Why am I helping them? It's a popular deal-making haunt. Maybe we should have gone there instead.
Precious looks very happy here.
Yes,
Michael.
I don't like Precious running free with all of these cats, as you can see.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
what
Trevor.
is going to happen to Adriana after she gets to Night City?
Whoa, we don't need to discuss details like that.
These cats are so loud, nobody will hear us.
Yeah, there's just like in the background, they're all like purr, purr. Well, you're the ones that arranged the contract already. I assume that you know that you're taking Adriana to Dr. Young, giving her over to her father once again. Because he doesn't know that she's a clone or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least.
Just wanted to make sure you're in the know on the right side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is anyone interested in that, by the way? Because people are like, he failed the moniker test, right?
Were you really just friends with Elliot? You seem like you knew him really well.
We fought in the corporate wars together.
Did you share a foxhole?
Yes.
Aha, I knew it.
You got me, Owen.
I think it's beautiful, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Elliot, he had a good reputation. It's too bad. He helped out a lot of people. Like you. He helped you.
Hardly knew him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, also, for the people that weren't playing on the first episode, New York was nuked a while back as well. So, New York, the island, I think, I can't remember what it said, but a large portion of it is gone, but a bunch of it is surviving and is still kind of like, has a scene going on and all that kind of stuff. But that was a major sort of event in the timeline of this setting, is New York being bombed. So, anyone else say anything? He's wound pretty tight, and he's not letting his cat go, too. He's mean. He's mean. Yeah.
She's killing me. Oh my god. I don't want to ask anything like that because I feel like there's a few things that Matt still isn't totally sure on, but I don't think she wants to continue this conversation. So if everyone else is done, just like, thanks, Mr. Fix-It. We're gonna move on to the next stages of our mission.
Like, you guys keep disrespecting the guy, and he's like trying to get you out of town. And you're like, "Thanks, Bob. My name's Michael. Whatever."
This is how I talk to all my friends. So, you should respect it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, oh yeah, did I look? I ordered this for my birthday. Like this game.
I thought it was like the new one. Maybe I was like, whoa.
No, it's
Cool.
the old one, the Cyberpunk 2020. It's the
That's some classic art, man.
oh,
I mean, a lot of it is very objectifying of women, but everything else is really cool.
yeah, a lot of it is strangely like that, like the front. But like I said, the the nice thing about it, at least, is it's like way more diverse than any other material that I've come across back then and even now still. So it's interesting. They had a blind spot. Well, maybe not a blind spot. Maybe they were specifically marketing towards guys who were like, oh, cool, cyber women's. But at least they had some diversity in there and other cool stuff going on. Cool. So everybody's done with this conversation? Yeah. I think Hart is the first one to leave, and he like just walks Precious out there, right? And Precious is like looking at the free cats, right, as they walk out the door. Sad kitty. So from here, what do you guys want to do?
I think it'd be cool to like have some discussion about like morality.
No. Okay, well,
Something.
yeah, morality is good. Matt, you need to go to the washroom, so
I'll be like 30 seconds.
well, it's fine. We can take a break.
Squeeze.
Yeah. Let's come back at 25 and talk about morality. Okay.
I can't believe we have to get back on a boat.
Boats are
I
your
know, right?
favorite.
These oil rigs are pretty cool, though. So
I hope so.
We should probably find out something about them before we go there. And we should have asked Michael Hart.
Nope.
It's fine. Who knows? Cool. So you're all sitting around the table, having your high tea, and Hart is gone, and it sounds like Autumn wants to talk about something.
well, I'm not too familiar with our new friend, but I was just wondering how you all were feeling about where we're taking her.
Just to check for sure, we're like dropping her off with her dad, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're delivering her to the person that cloned her and used her fairly poorly. But during the course of this adventure, people have been trying to sway her so that when eventually you did get to Night City, perhaps she would not go with Dr. Young, or at least is open to other possibilities. Whereas before, she was very like, I got to do what Dad says and conforming to society and stuff like that. People have been trying to punk her up. Right?
But we're just doing that so we can get our money and still feel okay about ourselves. What we should probably do is like take her far away.
I think Omen definitely is like, hey, I don't know, a job's a job. We're just getting her Night City. After that, whatever she wants to do, that's her decision.
Man, this isn't why I left school. I thought I'd be like helping people. Like this Dr. Young dude, he just sounds like the man. And you know, fuck that guy.
Bina, is this your jam?
I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm with Trella. Like, I feel like Adriana needs to like make her own decisions and stuff. And we need to show her like the life that she could have if she wasn't like so tied down to her father.
I mean, we're on an expense account now, but that'll get shut off. 1 million euro dollies. I mean, that's enough to get someone to a city, right? We don't need to like trade her off to anyone, but maybe let's make a delivery. Or like, sorry, no, I just said we wouldn't do that. Let's make a trip. Let's get there.
What if we drop her off and then bust her out again and take all the credits or all the euro dollars and go somewhere fun?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
That's, you know what, Chella, we're gonna have a lot of time for you to come up with how exactly that plan's gonna work. So I'll see what you come up with.
And I think I turn to Autumn because I think I take Autumn pretty seriously. Seems like you know what they're talking about. And I just like, what do you think? Like serious for the first time.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic heist, but I can't help but admit that I have a bit of a pragmatic streak. We're going to try to kidnap the daughter of a man who's already offering 1 million credits, have her returned. We might collect the check, but then we're going to end up with that same number on our heads when we're done.
So to make a distinction, the Narcross is the company, and ostensibly what has happened is they have discovered that she is a clone and worth lots of money and has like Dr. Young has implanted her with like corporate secrets that could hurt Narcross. So Dr. Young is the one paying you to basically he used his daughter to smuggle information out and also get her away from Narcross. And then Narcross is the ones that have like a bounty on you and have like $1 million to get her and all that kind of stuff. And Dr. Young is like also not that great on a morality thing, but he is not the company. So there's two sides pulling it at you there.
Okay. So I guess I would like kind of revise that statement to be like, if we return her to Narcross, that might be a big check. But if we try to double dip and bring her back to her dad or off to Acapulco, we're going to find that same number on our heads.
I mean, Adriana, what do you think? Here we are talking about you, and you're right here.
She's not here.
What? We said we brought her.
Is she in this conversation though?
At the cat cafe?
It could.
Are we still at the cat cafe?
Are you still there?
Michael, what do you think? Because you were setting this conversation. This is your.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking this was like a transitional scene, you know, so we're like either on a boat or going someplace so that when we're done, we're at the next stop. But I feel like the way we've been talking has kind of been as if she's not here. I don't think we would have talked like that if she was. So
yeah, I think so. Maybe she's just like shopping or I don't know, doing something else at the moment, or just like walking ahead of you or something like that, right?
Do we all agree that like we're heading towards these oil rigs at least? Would it be okay if we just like say that we're on the boat there, or is there some additional fictional stuff we have to do to arrange
Just need
that?
to secure travel.
There's an additional thing.
Oh, well, maybe we're in the Blue Rose and we're like doing our little coffin video Skyping situation.
And we have her set to ignore so she can't see we're online, but we feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm also shopping online while we're talking.
With that expense account, right? So it's just like I don't know. It's a lot of money. Could do a lot of good with that amount of money. You can certainly pat a nice pillow if you're having trouble falling asleep.
Well, it certainly gets us out of middle of fucking nowhere, America, too.
It just feels like both of these options, she gets treated like a possession, like a big score, you know? I just don't like that.
Yeah, she's a person.
And as much as he wants her to be his daughter, she's not his daughter.
Well, we had the clone conversation. She certainly thinks she's his daughter.
Was I there for the clone conversation?
I don't think so. It was in a Roadhouse diner.
What's the consensus? Does she have all of her memories and consciousness? Is it just like a duplicate of the other girl?
She's missing it.
She has like her own memories starting from like 4 years ago, right? And then before that, she has the memories of the like what would be her sister, but she's cloned from that. So,
what's her sister's name?
I don't remember. I think it was like something like Lisa or something like that.
Well, Trella and Bina, it sounds like you two got into the Edge Runner business to try to do some good, but Omen, what do you think? Are you here for the money, or we're getting real serious because we're like in our like sleeping bags right now, you know?
Yeah. I think you hear Omen like cheer because he just won an auction on a motorcycle in Galveston. But then he's like, hey, listen, I was there in New York City. I talked to Elliot. This wasn't a surprise. Like, he didn't lie to us about what we were like breaking out of a lab. Like, we knew it was a person. She knew she was getting broken out. She knew she was getting taken to Night City. She's getting escorted by us. So I would like to get her to Night City. And at that point, yeah, she can make whatever decision she wants. Like, I don't have her handcuffed or anything.
So, just so I'm perfectly clear, we're saying we're going to return her to Dad for a smaller paycheck, but also Narcross has this big, like, bounty on us. Is that right?
Well, it's just on Adriana, isn't it? Even if she was passed off to another group, it would follow her.
Yeah, it's specifically for Adriana. They want like the corporate secrets back, and then also her very body is like they want to reverse engineer how to get cloning done and all that kind of stuff. So she's like cutting edge technology, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay, but there's people who are like interested in taking her off our hands at least if they found out.
Yeah, like everybody, yeah.
Right, and we're forgoing the opportunity to hand her to the corporation ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess if someone as hard-boiled as you feels that way, I had no choice but to go along.
We could fight for it. Never mind. Maybe not.
Yeah, Duchess just glances at you.
Well, okay. Hey, look, I got on this great bid right now. Do you guys want anything? I got a sweet motorcycle.
What?
Yeah, there's like some hatchbacks. There's a racing car. There's a few scooters.
Can you give me a sidecar?
Oh yeah, and I think like there's some clicking, and then like Omen's like kind of cursing to himself because he keeps getting outbid. But then like he gets, yeah, we'll get a sweet sidecar.
Sweet sidecar it is. Okay.
It's a side. I bought a racing bike, so the sidecar is getting attached to a racing bike.
Okay.
I'm going wild with this expense account.
I think you made the right call, Autumn. You have a good heart somewhere.
Somewhere. Deep down.
I mean, I'm a burglar. I was born a burglar. I'm a burglar. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think I mean, maybe there's like this sort of like all the screens go like black or whatever to go to sleep, and Autumn's just like there with like the glowing yellow eyes, like maybe I'll betray you, but I won't. But like maybe I would. I'm not going to do it. But
that's pretty funny. Maybe I'll betray you if I feel like it.
You're doing like the evil mastermind thing, just like petting your cat.
Oh gosh. Cool. Okay, so it sounds like everyone's mostly on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like begrudgingly on board, but like I'm gonna try and think of something else to do. Like you can see me not happy, but I'm just like, I guess I didn't start this mission. I kind of just came along and said, "Hey, I'm joining you now." So I probably shouldn't tell you how to be a runner because I don't fucking know.
Okay, Chalna, we'll do some sweet jams and like do some brainstorming. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll just try really hard.
Yeah, trying is good. Okay, so all right, so you're at the Blue Rose Motel. Everyone has just like concluded speaking and stuff like that. Let me see. I just need to...
Just real quick, I want to make it canon. I bought Adriana a really spiky leather jacket.
Okay.
Nice move.
Cool. Nice. It says it'll be there in a few hours because it's the future. Instead of like 2 days or 1 day, it's in like an hour or whatever. Well, maybe it is just in an hour, but if it's nighttime, we'll see. Anyway, so during the night though, maybe shortly after this conversation, Bina, I think you get like a staticky call from the Verena. It's like trying to click through, and as soon as you like answer it, it suddenly goes dead. But it doesn't go dead right away, but it's just like Grace trying to muffle out some words, like it's all staticky, like going through a tunnel and all that kind of stuff, right? And I think it goes dead, and then you hear like an explosion go off in the distance, very ominously, right? So what would you do?
Who got this call?
Bina. I rolled a D4 and she's the second one.
I think Bina like immediately.
Do you bolt right up and hit your head on the coffin?
Yeah,
ceiling?
exactly. Yeah, you know me too well. So she like swears and like sort of rubs her head, and then like gets immediately onto like the comms across like to the rest of our group and stuff, and is like, guys, like, get the fuck up. Something's going down.
Cool. Were you guys sleeping, or were you still up after that hearty debate of morality? Are people tossing it? Well, I guess you can't toss and turn in a coffin, but are you up?
I was asleep.
I was asleep.
Oh, nice.
Autumn's nocturnal, so.
Nice. Cool. Cool. So you get a call from Bina, and if you go out on that crap, I can't remember what it's called, but you like the jetting out surface thing that you are able to get to, you can see the Verena is clearly the boat on the pier that has been like blowing up, and there's like smoke and fire and stuff. It's happened only moments ago, right?
Oh shit.
Was that our ride out of here?
Yes. Well, also the people, right? Because
Hey, listen, voice in my head. People die all the time in the cyberpunk future.
right.
I'm from New York.
But you really liked Cleary.
That wore off.
So I'm
No.
sorry, was that a boat that people were staying on? The boat that we had?
Yeah, that's the boat that you were just on and arrived in.
Okay.
It just blew up.
I'm just like stunned. Like I'm like paralyzed, just like, wow, real consequences. People dying, this is bad.
Yeah. And like in the background, probably there's like the assholes that are still drinking at Mardi Gras, and they're like, whoa, right? Like they think it's part of the attraction and stuff like that. But really, it's Hope dying.
Does it seem like it was like intentional? Like, can we tell anything about the explosion? Like, are people onto us? Do we need to move?
Are you guys gonna go to it? I think like I had picture you guys just like getting to the end of like your own little pier or whatever on the New Rose Hotel, and just like looking out and seeing it, the fireball, you know, it starting to sink, and the flames and the carnage of it all.
Bina, who'd you get a call from?
That was Grace? Is that who it was?
It was Grace, yeah, Cleary's daughter.
Yeah. I mean, I got a call from Grace. The line was like super staticky, and then like the explosion went off. So like, I think like if Omen's were around, being able to like grab Omen and be like, "We gotta get down there. It's like we gotta fight the guys who did this."
Do you want to go the fast way or the safe way?
It's this. No, I would say it's the spaceport reptilian. Yeah, fast.
All right. And then I'm gonna go back inside my little coffin, and
That's not fast. As we're running inside.
and I'm gonna get some rope that I'm pulling out of my magical adventuring pack, my role-playing game adventuring pack, and I'm throwing it straight at Trella for trying to yell at me. And then I'll
Is this the time that the person like Amazon comes and delivers your sidecar?
no, that's waiting for me in Texas. But yeah, there's a spike-leather jacket gets dropped off for Adriana, and then I get like a real good sturdy rope. And I think if you're into this, Trella, I'm like, all right, Trella, we're gonna rappel. Here's your first lesson. Here's your first cyberpunk lesson. And I'm like tying it around you, and then I just push you off.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. But I think I'm ready for this. I have a breathing mask. How high are we above the water?
Whatever you want.
A dramatic defense.
Yeah. Like, you thinking like you might take damage, or what do you mean?
Well, not really. I was just like, how far am I falling with a rope attached to me into the water? Am I gonna hit the water? Like, what is your plan here?
No. You're the weight at the bottom, so we all can just rappel down. But I'm gonna tie it off, and you'll be fine. And then I'll tie you down after we're done. It's a joke. It's a cyberpunk joke.
It's a mean joke. Is the boat right below us?
Sure, yeah, we can say that.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble picturing it in my brain.
Yeah, me too. So we'll say that like this place is jetting out above and like below and a little bit away in front of you or something like that is the boat that's exploded, and maybe you're like 3 or 4 stories above or something, right?
Okay. Is there like another structure near the boat that we can like rappel down onto, or are we just like dropping onto the burning boat?
That'd be fun. You want to do that?
Maybe it's like right at the dock or something, or at the pier, you know.
I don't think there's a pier. I think it's the boat, right? I think that's
yeah.
The pier's on
So what
fire.
state is it like still partially together? Like, can we like land like super cool agents and start like, checking out what's going on?
Sure, it hasn't got to the roof yet.
Okay. So is everybody down on the boat? Do we just go down?
Well, I'll probably need a roll for these to land on the burning boat.
Yeah.
So who's leading this and who's helping?
I guess I got pushed down.
Yeah.
That means I'm leading.
Cool. So how do you feel falling down?
Tell me.
Realizing what was happening. And then I guess Omen is the one helping. Kind of mechanically. the wings beneath your arms.
I think I'm mad. I mean, I was basically expressing that already, which is not very good for me. I don't do so good when I'm flustered. So I'll click that. Wait, how do I put in help?
Advantage. You roll with advantage.
But where do I mark advantage?
Oh, and does it not have a thing for you?
I just clicked and it just rolled immediately.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the new sheet has a advantage thing.
Okay.
Advantage slash R1d6?
Yeah, just roll another d6, and then you'll take the highest. So you got a 5 and a 2, so that'd be an 8, right? So you got a mid result. You didn't fail it. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
That is very good.
5, 8, or a 7, I guess, because it's a -1.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, but you're okay still. Okay, so yeah, so you rappel down onto the boat, right, with the help of Omen, I guess, steering you as you fall.
So you just tie a rope around me and throw me off this pier? Okay, cool. So So maybe you somehow have this system of like letting me down a little bit gently or whatever, or maybe I swing a little bit sort of, and then I'm just like running along like the top of the boat, and then I just kind of like stop or whatever, and I try to secure the rope to something on the boat so that they can just like slide down or however they want to do it.
Well, so the mid result actually.
Oh
is
yeah, that's
happens.
what I want to do.
Yeah. So you do that, except that you tie it off and then you tug on it, and you realize that when you came down, it sheared off something, and you tug and the rope just like falls right down. You look around, you're on the roof of the boat, right? It's like a raging inferno type situation. There's fire all around you, and I think what you see to close this out, because we're almost at time, is to make it even more nefarious. You're like looking around, and then you look down on your stomach or your torso, and there's like a red dot there, right? And we follow it as the audience over to like someone who's been laying in wait to target you, because there was a trap all along, and so there's like a sniper in this room with a target on you, and then it's like executive producer, right?
We got duped.
Yep. Like you're just like, okay, have fun, Trella. Ah! At least you didn't hurt yourself, though. So
It was a controlled descent.
yeah, it was good. So no rope. It'll take them all a little bit to get situated, and then you're getting sniped at. Woohoo! So
Boy.
Everyone can take 600 XP. Yeah. Well, at least Trella might not.
Oh boy. So we had a total of 5,000 before, or maybe that was just me. Did we get 5,000 last time?
Yeah, I think I made it whatever to get you exactly to level 3 before.
I missed the first.
Level 3 is like 11,000.
You started me with 3,800, and then I think we got 1,200 last time to make it 5,000.
Okay, sure.
Does that sound right?
Sure.
I'm trying to
What are you
remember.
at?
Maybe not.
I had 2,500 in my notes. Yeah.
Oh, you should have been at more than that for sure, because you would have started at 36 or something like that, I think. However much money you started with would have been your XP starting.
Oh, okay. So I thought we just started at level 2, and then also we had money, but that money was also how many we had,
Yeah.
which is why we're in the level 2 range.
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Was it because we got... Sorry.
I'll just do some math later. Is all I was gonna say.
Well, so you should be at the same as Matt, which is at 5,000 plus 600, right?
Okay.
I think so, yeah. So we basically got the XP to get us to 5,000 last time, but we didn't get the cash for it yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I started with 3,800, spent 1,000. So I have 2,800, but 5,600 XP. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Cool. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So that
Fraser.
Yep. And that's where we end. Trella's in the line of sights. Nobody's the wiser. There's all the smoke and the embers coming up, right? The other people can't quite see what's going on. Dun dun dun.